Hi, it's Cave Cat again, here with episode 24 of Cave Cat's movie and TV reviews. Now, a lot of you might recall how I reviewed Mr. Bogus for episode 5 of this review series. Also, in that review, I made mention that there were two other shows produced by the same two companies as that of Mr. Bogus, to which I will be reviewing one of them. That show would be Twinkle the Dream Being. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Twinkle the Dream Being is an animated series that was produced by Calico Entertainment and Zodiac Entertainment in association with two other companies known as Say Young and NBC Production. I would not be surprised if you haven't heard of those companies. But anyway, to give a synopsis of the series as a whole, Twinkle the Dream Being tells the story of the main character, Twinkle, a little yellow genie who makes it his job to grant the wishes of the citizens of the Land of Possibility, all while foiling the schemes of the evil diva Weed, who wishes to enslave the population of the Land of Possibility. All the while, Twinkle is also assisted by his two sidekicks named Nova and Wishball, the former able to form a star-shaped ship for Twinkle to ride in, and the latter able to make Twinkle fly without the use of Nova, by way of orbiting around Twinkle to lift him off the ground. I actually like the plot and the concept of this series, focusing on a genie, or rather a dream being, going around granting the wishes of the citizens of another planet, all while having to deal with a wicked witch trying to enslave the entire population of said planet. There's also one thing I really like that makes the series really stand out from the previous two Zodiac Entertainment series before it. Nearly every episode makes good use of the whole be careful what you wish for trope, being that whenever a citizen of the Land of Possibility has a problem that seems relatable to the audience, he or she will make a wish, which summons Twinkle. And despite Twinkle trying to warn the corresponding citizen about the consequences of said wish, with help from Wishball and Nova, of course, he still goes ahead with granting the wish of said citizen anyway, while the citizen ends up having to learn the lesson the hard way. So, yeah, that's what I mean by the whole be careful what you wish for trope. The tone of the show is really fun and energetic, in almost a similar vein as that of Mr. Bogus, but not quite to that extent. The reason I say this is because while Mr. Bogus mainly focused on slapstick and crazy situations, along with Widget the World Watcher being mainly focused on saving the environment, this show actually focuses more on teaching life lessons in almost every episode. Like Adventures of the Gummy Bears, the lessons are subtle and they don't beat you over the head, but rather they convey the lesson very smoothly without overstaying its welcome. Not only is the show a lot of fun, but the main characters are also a lot of fun themselves. Twinkle is basically like a cross between Widget and Mr. Bogus, being that while he can get into slapstick filled situations, he is also intelligent and wise and able to help the citizens of the Land of Possibility learn their lesson. And as for his two sidekicks, Nova is the more easygoing, which makes sense since she's voiced by Rusty Taylor using her Minnie Mouse voice, while Wishball is more serious when it comes to giving Twinkle advice. And for the villains, Diva Weed is the main villain of the series who always comes up with schemes to try and take over the Land of Possibility. However, there are times when she'll end up having to team up with Twinkle when she ends up having a problem that she can't solve herself. Then we also have her henchmen, Juan and Chew, who are known as the Hotshots. In some ways, they're kind of like Ratty and Mole from Mr. Bogus, or even Pokemon and Namon from Digimon Frontier, with the comparison that Juan is the shorter and more serious of the duo, while Chew is the taller and more dim-witted of the duo, so they actually fit that paradigm very well. And aside from the main heroes and the main villains, we also get other recurring characters, such as the Ergs, a race of large green rock-like monsters who have ravenous appetites and will often go to various lengths to snack some food for themselves, almost like what Cookie Monster from Sesame Street would often do, except with cookies. Buzz, a young Earth boy who only appeared in 2 episodes of the series, but from what we saw of him, he actually has a passion for singing and dancing, yet is shown to be rather insecure and longing to have friends, as seen in his first appearance. In some ways, he's almost like Tommy Anybody from Mr. Bogus, but the only difference is that while Tommy can often get annoyed with Bogus whenever he tags along, at least Buzz is more tolerant and down to earth than Tommy is, especially when Twinkle is concerned. And finally, we have Sparkle, another dream being who looks like Twinkle, except he's shorter, has a noticeable nose, and has a tendency to act rather rambunctious and impulsive when it came to trying to follow the wish granting rules. And also, like how Twinkle has Nova and Wishball, Sparkle also has his own star-shaped sidekick Quasar, who for some reason speaks with a voice similar to that of Thurston Howell III from Gilligan's Island. And those were the characters of the show. And also, as I mentioned before, I really like the tone of the show, being that the concept, the episode plots, and the characters are all loads of fun. It's one of those shows that really gives you a feeling of excitement when Twinkle shows up to grant wishes or when he's facing off against Diva Weed and her minions. And there's another highlight about the show that I must point out, which is the theme song. Oh my gosh, that is just the catchiest song that I've ever heard in my life. You know, like Twinkle the Dream Being, just close your eyes, make a wish, he will be there, my Twinkle, Twinkle. Then again, it should be no surprise that the theme song, as well as the music of the show, was composed by Dale Shacker, who previously did the music for Widget, Mr. Bogus, and especially Denver the Last Dinosaur. You could tell that Peter Keefe really had some great talent behind the shows that he worked on during his lifetime, even when he helped dub Voltron and Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs into English back in the 1980s. The 80s and the early 90s were definitely a magical time for television animation, even for Saturday mornings. It's too bad that animation companies these days just don't have that potent writing and animation that they used to back during those times, especially when there's such shows airing today, such as SpongeBob SquarePants, The Loud House, and especially that infamous Teen Titans Go. Like I mentioned before in my video talking about the upcoming Garbage Pail Kids cartoon reboot, movie and TV companies really need better CEOs who actually know what they're doing when it comes to running the company. But instead, they had to be saddled with complete idiots who have to make stupid decisions without even considering the consequences of said decisions. Within time, who knows? Sometime in the future, we'll either get better company CEOs who actually have a good amount of common sense, or we'll get new company CEOs who are even worse than the previous ones. But enough rambling about that. I really like Twinkle the Dream Being for the show that it is, enough to actually give it 7 stars. Even if there's a slim chance that Twinkle the Dream Being, along with Widget and Mr. Bogus, will ever get a DVD or Blu-ray release, at least there were actually a couple of YouTube users who had the foresight to find master tape copies of each episode of Mr. Bogus, and especially Twinkle the Dream Being, before uploading them to YouTube, which I forgot to mention when I previously reviewed Mr. Bogus. But hey, potato, potato, tomato, tomato, what's done is done. I admit that I did leave out some other details in some of my previous reviews, but you can't talk about everything in every single review, so what can you do? But anyway, with all that's been said, that's it for this episode of Cave Cat's movie and TV reviews. As I keep saying before, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for even more episodes or other videos from me. So until next time, just close your eyes and make a wish, he will be there, my Twinkle. But anyway, later!